Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to class on history. So we are dealing with the last chapter, India's freedom struggle, second phase. The previous class I had explained to you Home Rule movement and its objectives, the Lucknow section, the entry of Mahatma Gandhi, and the different steps or the different incidents that made Gandhiji very popular. The last topic that we learned was the Montague-Chelmsford reforms. I hope you are clear so far. Now let's continue with the various incidents that happened towards the independence of our country. The first topic that you are going to learn is about the Jallianwala Bagh. Jallianwala Bagh massacre. We will see how it happened. In 1919, April 10, the two leaders were arrested in Punjab. Those leaders were Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Satyapal. These are the two leaders arrested by the police. So what did the people do? In 1919, April 13, people gathered in a place called Amritsar. People gathered in a park in Amritsar called Jallianwala Bagh. Okay, and why did the people gather together? They wanted to protest against these arrests. So the two leaders were arrested. Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal were arrested by the police. So on April 13, people gathered together in a park in Amritsar called Jallianwala Bagh. So this particular crowd included men, women and children. So we have got the entry of General Dyer, the military commander, blocked the only entrance that the park had. This particular park called Jallianwala Bagh had only one single entrance. So the military commander called General Dyer came with his army and blocked the only entrance and opened the fire. And hundreds of people were killed and thousands of people were wounded. And this particular massacre, this particular incident shocked the entire country. And the leaders were not happy with this particular act of British government, and as a protest, Rabindranath Tagore gave up his knighthood, the honor that was given by the British people, British government. But how did the British government react to it? They declared martial law in Punjab, tortured the people, and they banned the newspapers. So this is what you buy the first topic that you are learning today, Jallianwala Bagh massacre that happened in 1919, April 13th. So April 10th, the two leaders were arrested. So the crowd gathered together in a park in Amritsar called Jallianwala Bagh. The crowd included men, women and children. General Dyer, the military commander, blocked the only entrance and opened the fire at the people. So the Indian leaders were not happy with it. They were strongly opposed. They strongly opposed this particular action done by the British government. Now let's move on to the next topic. This is clear for you. Now moving on to the next one, that is the Khilafat movement. Khilafat movement. This Khilafat movement was organized by Ali brothers called Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. These are the two brothers who began something called the Khilafat movement, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. And what was the reason for it? The reason was that it was a protest against the injustice done to Turkey after the First World War. So main reason is against the injustice done to Turkey after the First World War. Which means during the First World War, Britain fought against Turkey. And Turkey was a very important place to the Muslims living in India. And the Sultan of Turkey, the ruler of the Turkey, was the head of Muslims. And the Khilafat leaders back in India put pressure on the British government for a better treatment to Turkey. So this is the reason why they organized something called a Khilafat movement in India. It was against the injustice done to Turkey. The reason was that the Sultan, the ruler of Turkey, is considered as the head of Muslims. So back in India, they organized something called the Khilafat movement to put pressure on British government for a better treatment to Turkey. And this particular Khilafat movement had a huge impact on the Muslims, because Muslims in large number became part of this particular movement when the Congress leaders joined this particular movement, and it became a very popular movement. So understand the reasons why they began something called a Khilafat movement. It was against the injustice done to Turkey after the First World War. So after completing this particular Khilafat movement, now they will come to the next one, that is the non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement. This Congress began this particular non-cooperation movement under the leadership of Gandhiji. It means Gandhiji was the one who began something called a non-cooperation movement. And it was a protest against the Punjab wrongs, which means the Jallianwala Bagh tragedy, and the policy towards the Turkey. And what was the aim of this particular non-cooperation movement? That is, the aim of this particular movement was to realization of self-government. Realization of self-government. This was the aim of beginning or starting or launching non-cooperation movement. In the beginning, how was it? In the beginning, the leaders surrendered all the titles that were given to them by the British government. Gandhiji gave the title called Kaiseri Hind. Gandhiji gave that particular title given to him. The people began to boycott schools, colleges, legislators, the court, and the elections to the legislators. People said, no, we are not going to be in the schools, we are not going to be in the colleges, we are not to be there in the court, whatever it is, and we are not going to participate in the elections to the legislators. And the people were asked not to cooperate with the government, and they burned the foreign clothes and organized various strikes. So that was in the starting or in the beginning. This is how the people implemented the concept called the non-cooperation movement. And what are the constructive programs of it? Under the constructive programs, Gandhiji made sure that Charkha and Khadi became popular. Popularization of Charkha and Khadi, promotion of Hindu-Muslim unity, abolition of untouchability, and spread of education. These were the things that were practiced under the heading called constructive program. And these are the things that were done at the beginning or the starting of this particular non-cooperation movement. Now, why did Gandhi stop this particular movement? The withdrawal. Why did Gandhi stop this particular movement? The reason was that in 1922, February 5th, a crowd of peasants was doing a protest march through the village. And the crowd of peasants, but there was a gathering of the peasants, and they were having a protest march through the village. And the police beat a volunteer for picketing shop. So the crowd became very angry. They set fire to the police station. And Gandhiji, being against any kind of violence, withdrew this particular movement. Happened in 1922, February 5th. Understand the background? The crowd of peasants were having a protest march through the village. The police beat a volunteer for picketing a shop. The crowd became angry, or the peasants became very angry. They set fire to the police station. And Gandhiji, being against any form of violence, stopped this particular movement. So this is what you mean the term called the non-cooperation movement. So understand the aim of it, the two different programs, how was it in the beginning and what were the constructive programs, and why did Gandhi stop or withdraw this particular movement called non-cooperation movement. I hope you are clear with it. Now moving on to the next one, that is the events that happened between 1922 to 1930. And what is the main thing that happened here? The division of Congress. Division of Congress. And what was this particular division? The division of Congress happens. The first one is called pro-changers. And second one is no-changers. Now what are the differences between these two? The pro-changers were led by R.C. Das and Motilal Nehru. Okay? And what was their aim? They wanted to stop this boycotting legislative council, which means they did not want Indians to be out of legislative councils, and they wanted to participate in the elections. And what was their belief? They believed that if Congress boycotted the elections, it will be an opportunity for the people loyal to the British government to get elected, and the government will have absolute power. So, pro-changers, we have C.R. Das. And what was their aim? Their aim was to stop boycotting legislative councils, and they wanted to contest in the elections. And if they do not participate in the elections, what will happen is that it will be an opportunity for the people loyal to the British government to get elected, and the British government will get absolute power. So they wanted to enter the legislatures by contesting the elections. That's what you call the pro-changers. Now moving on to the rest of the non-changers, it was led by Rajendra Prasad and Vallabhbhai Patel, and they had only very constructive program. Constructive program, I have already told you, popularizing the Charkha and Khadi, promotion of Hindu-Muslim unity, abolition of untouchability and spread of education. They were mainly focused on constructive programs. But the pro-changers, they wanted to contest the election and win some seats. So what did they do? In 1923, the pro-changers, they formed a party called Swaraj Party. And they contested the elections, they won some seats, and they became part of legislative council, and they created a real headache for the British to get approval of the policies in the council, because there were Indian people in the council. So it was very difficult for the British government to get the approval of the policies. So this is what you mean the division that happened in Congress between 1922 and 1930. The first category is the pro-changers who wanted to contest the election and be part of legislative council. And the non-changers, they were focused on constructive programs. So Gandhiji, once after being released from the jail, began to continue with the activity of removing the untouchability, Hindu-Muslim unity, and the spread of Khadi. And the next topic, we have clear the vision of Congress, approach changes and the non-changes. Now the last topic for today is the mobilization of peasants. Mobilization of peasants. Mobilization of the peasants means the bringing together the peasants. There were various peasant revolts. The revolts by the peasants, and they were active participants of this non-cooperation movement. And they had called Kisan Sabhas. Kisan Sabhas that fought against the Britishers and the Zamindars. And the Congress was really interested in bringing together the peasants. So in 1928, Vallabhbhai Patel organized Bardoli Satyagraha. Bardoli Satyagraha. And it was a satyagraha to protest against the increase in taxes. So this is how they worked. They were mainly interested in bringing together or collecting together the peasants, because they were very active participants, and they had organized various revolts against the British officers and also against the Zamindars who were their agents. I hope you have clear so far. So we began with the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, the Khilafat movement, the non-cooperation movement, the starting constructive programs and the withdrawal, division of Congress, the pro-changes and no-changes. The last topic, the mobilization of the peasants. I hope you have clear with it. Go through the video along with the notes and try to understand the notes. So as I reminded you, kindly go through the question answers of the previous chapters that I have completed. And if you are finding difficult to get any answers, please ask me. I will try to give the answers. Or else my notes are enough for you to prepare and find out the question answers given at the end of the chapter. And if there is any doubt, please ask me and prepare well for your exams. Thank you, children.